Hello everyone, sanibonani, dumelang, absheni, molweni, thobela, lochani. I hope you all good people out there. Welcome to 105 online channel. In this channel, we are bringing you celebrity news, entertainment news and gossip celebrity news. Hey good people, today I'm bringing you the latest news of the July unrest. President Cyril Ramaphosa has said we were not fully forewarned about it when he appeared before the South African Human Rights Commission investigative hearings into the July 2021 unrest and looting. He said none of what finally eventuated was ever pinpointed that this is what was planned. I guess you could say intelligence failure and security gathering failure. Should it have been known? Yes. Could it have been prevented? I guess that is one of the things we would need to deal with. Ramaphosa, who is giving evidence on his responsibility as the head of state during the July 2021 unrest and looting in KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng, was responding to a question asked by Commissioner Buang Jones, who led evidence on state security, socio-economic issues and the defense force, has asked Ramaphosa whether he was forewarned about the unrest, either from intelligence sources or from members of his cabinet. Ramaphosa responded by saying that the events as they manifested themselves and scale and intensity and ferocity was unforeseen. What we had gleaned from reports was that there were protests and signs of unhappiness, particularly over the incarceration of former President Jacob Zuma. But none of what happened and ensued and targeting of malls and infrastructure was foreseen. That never surfaced in any of the reports or the indications. John then asked Ramaphosa whether he received the early warnings. He had engaged with the Minister of State Security Ayanda Dlodlo and the head of the domestic branch of State Security Agency. He responded and said there were reports and indications about the meetings of people who were protesting, and it never got to warnings about the scale of the devastation that finally ensued. To the extent that we received any, it was just limited to there being unhappy, a level of mobilization in a specific area of people who are disgruntled and unhappy about what happened in the possible incarceration of former president in the Constitutional Court trial. Jones also quizzed Ramaphosa about the National Security Council being operational during the incident. He said, when I became a president, I realized the NSC had stopped operating and we resuscitated it in 2019. The meeting planned for the NSC were then overtaken by the arrival of the COVID-19 pandemic. Ned Jones then focused more on the pandemic, which had a security element to it. He said the meeting fell between the gap because the people who were meant to be part of that focused more on the pandemic on the expert panel report. Jones asked Ramaphosa if he received any report from the intelligence sources and operatives. Ramaphosa said prior to the unrest, the sum total of the reports were around the mobilization of the Umkhonto we Sizwe Military Veterans Association, and sometimes it will be the truck drivers who have blocked the road. Jones asked Ramaphosa about Dlodlo's testimony, in which she told the panel she did provide intelligence reports that warned about the attacks in July, and that there were sufficient warnings to the police about unrest. On the other hand, Police Minister Bheki Cele denies receiving intelligence reports. The former Minister of State Security asserts in very strong terms that these reports were delivered to Ned Jones and at some point wanted to have a discussion with you, but you were not available. Ramaphosa replied and said, I guess the lack of coordination has also been singled out as a problem by the Africa report, which we have considered. The substance of the reports that were to be given never really alluded to the unrest and the details of the unrest as it unfolded. He said, I am yet to see such a report that says this is what we knew and how it was going to unfold. I have not seen such a report because it would have had to say these are the planners. This is what they intend to hit. they will move from this mall to the next mall. And all of that, Ramaphosa said there were always attempts to meet with him. He stated that there is never a shortage of ways of communicating, and to say you only relied on solely one method of communication is taking a shortcut. With the benefit of hindsight with regards to the intensity and organized nature in which it happened and the speed which it happened, given the lack of the resources, the lack of being properly organized themselves, I think they would have been challenged, as themselves concede. Ramaphosa said the public order policing aspects was not well structured and didn't have all personnel needed to tackle the unrest. However, he said, I should hasten to say the police did the best they could under very difficult and challenging circumstances. The weakness they suffered from was the system. It was inherent in the system they operated under, so I will not find fault with the bravery and courage they demonstrated. I think they were failed by the system. Well, it seems like Ramaphosa is not prepared to answer the questions in the right way. He also doesn't want to be held accountable on what has happened in July. He doesn't even want to admit that they have failed the country. What are your thoughts on this one, people? Please leave a comment down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please do not forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you can get more news on this channel. 105 Holland channel loves you. Bye, good people.